Welcome, everyone, to another Zoom franchise conference from the Titus Center. I'm John Hayes. I'm the Titus Chair at Palm Beach Atlantic University. We are happy to announce that our university is open and teaching students in classrooms and online, and so far so good, happily. We're a small university, about 4,000 students, and they come from all over the world, actually, but most are from the United States. And everybody loves Florida, and everybody's eager to get back to the university campus after such a long period of time, 5-6 months, where there was hardly anyone on campus, surely no one teaching classes in classrooms. Everybody has to wear a mask, and everybody has to be socially distanced, and we are a Christian university, so we pray for the best outcome for faculty and students and staff, that everybody stays healthy, and we hope that it will go that way. As it turns out, in the Titus Center, where I teach the franchise courses, I have 3 classes this semester, including the internship class, which doesn't really meet in person, but students are doing internships this fall. We were afraid for a while that we weren't going to have enough internships, but Chick-fil-A and Sloan's Ice Cream and BurgerFi and Centown, these are a couple of new companies, new franchises that are not new to franchising necessarily, but new to our internship lineup. Our students have to do a 90-hour internship with a franchise company, and because they do them in the fall and the spring, those internships are usually in the South Florida area. So we have that going on. And then Principles of Franchising was slated to go online as a course even before COVID. So that was in the works. And COVID gave me great opportunity to go out and record 15 or so lectures and guest interviews with people. So Principles of Franchising, with about a dozen students in it as of yesterday, is off and running online. And then Franchise Creative Ventures is our case studies course. And the students asked me if we would meet by Zoom rather than in the classroom. So that starts this afternoon. So we are back in the educational mode and doing the best we can there. We have not scheduled boot camps this year. I've had a lot of questions about that. What are we going to do and what are we planning? And we're not planning any boot camps currently because we haven't yet been able to figure out our November 18th board meeting, how we're going to do that. We're hoping that we do some hybrid meeting at least. We did not have an April meeting, so we want to have one in November. But as for boot camps, not doing those, but instead we have created the Franchise Hot Seat. And if you haven't seen the promotion about the Titus Franchise Hot Seat, then go to titusfranchisehotseat.com. We have our first episode ready to go into production. We were looking for 3 individuals who want to sit in the hot seat and pitch their franchise idea or their franchise company to our dream team, which is an impressive group that they're listed at titusfranchisehotseat.com. You can go take a look at who's on the dream team and how all of this works. We're still looking for sponsors because people who sponsored our boot camps, some of them are gracious and saying, well, we'll put money that we were going to put behind a boot camp anyway. We're going to put that into your Franchise Hot Seat program. We intend to do 3 episodes. Each episode will have 3 pitches in an episode. So we'll have 9 different people pitching their ideas to our dream team. And the dream team, sort of like Shark Tank, will give their feedback to the person or people who do the pitching about their idea. Some of them are looking for partners. Some are looking for some help financially. All are looking for good feedback from the dream team about what they can do better and maybe contacts, network that they can, how to broaden their network and franchising to be more effective. So we've got that underway, and hope you'll go take a look at titusfranchisehotseat.com. In this Zoom conference, it's being recorded. We post all of our conferences. We have about a dozen of them at Titus Center for Franchising.com. And if you look under our conferences page, you will see the past conferences that we've recorded. We've had great reception from people with these programs, and we've appreciated that. We try to keep them very tight. We try to deliver lots of value. We know you want examples and you want answers, and particularly those of you who are franchisors, you want to hear from franchisors, and franchisees want to hear from franchisees, and we've tried to always line that up in our programs to give you the best quality that we can and to give you the best information in a very difficult time for people. So we will record this. We do ask everybody to mute, and we do mute everyone except the speakers so that we minimize the background noise. We put up the chat screen, and that's where we ask you to post your questions. We always, we're usually pretty good. Sometimes we run out of time. We keep this to an hour. We try not to run out of time. We want to get your questions in. Please use the chat to post your questions, and we will accommodate them from there. So we've got 3 terrific people on our program today. Many of you, you know probably at least 2 of our speakers. Corey and Joseph are out there among the franchise community. David is too, but David is a franchisor, so tends more to the work of U.S. Lawns, as we'll get to. Corey has been a member of our advisory board from videobolt.com and has contributed greatly to what we do at the Titus Center for Franchising. Our advisory board has been tremendous. We have 40-some members of our advisory board, and we really appreciate their financial contributions and their intellectual contributions and the help that they give us by participating in conferences like this. Corey's been a TV journalist and former Emmy-nominated and Associated Press award winner, and knows a great deal about video and how to use video to be more effective to help you as franchisors generating leads. And not just franchisors, all of us who need leads, we can do this more effectively through video. David Wells comes to us through U.S. Lawns. U.S. Lawns is one of our advisory board members as well. David is the Senior Director of Franchise Recruiting at U.S. Lawns, and so he's got lots of experience with lead generation, and he's going to share experiences that he's had using video. And Joseph Mohey, a good friend of the Titus Center, based in Orlando, and Joseph is at Integrated Digital Strategies, works closely with many franchise companies, as you'll see here in a moment, and skilled in video production and the use of video and lead generation. So we've brought you 3 talented folks who know that they need to get right to the nitty-gritty and give you value for your time. And let's get started with that. Corey, you're up next. Take it away.
Thank you, John. Now today, Joe, David, and I are going to talk to you about the why of video. So flashback, if you will, to your childhood. For me, I remember going to the kitchen where the giant yellow book sat next to the green rotary phone. But now we've all evolved with technology, and we're never 5 feet from a device. It's how we find information. In fact, we live in a world of information saturation where we're constantly bombarded with information, and we're finding things via text, via social, etc. So where are we going? We're going to the same places that all of us go, and those 3 most trafficked sites where your prospects and yourself are spending time are Google, YouTube, and Facebook. In my home, when we don't know something, we say just Google it. Is there anybody out there who's Binging it? Probably not. Google drives 90% of search, and what's interesting about number 1 and number 2 is Google owns YouTube, so it's always going to populate video higher. In fact, some estimates say you put the message in text and the message in video, the video will rank 53 times higher. Then you look at Facebook. If Facebook were a country, it would be larger than China. You probably see in your everyday feed videos playing, because Facebook sees the revenues that YouTube is making, so they too are capturing videos. So those 3 sites, as well as LinkedIn, are where you need to be. And you're seeing your favorite newspapers evolve, as well as your favorite TV stations. The Wall Street Journal, who caters to an upper echelon clientele, now has a section over there that says recommended videos. Next to the articles, they have the videos. But they also realize you may not engage with them, so that's why they have a YouTube channel with 2.3 million subscribers. So the types of videos that work best for franchise development are right there. Explainers, question and answer, day in the life, and brand stories. But remember, you want to start with why. Why is what moves us. Your what is, what do you do? Franchise development. But your why is, I give you the freedom to be your own boss. So focus on why and focus on stories like your favorite brands. I'm a broadcaster. I went to storytelling school, just like the people at Nike. Nike backwards is Ekin. They too are selling you an attitude, not a shoe or a golf club. Southwest, Apple, all of those brands are telling you stories. And that's the idea. In news, we used to say, facts tell, stories sell. So your prospects may not want to read something like this, for example, with Dunkin' brand. Why? Because they're on the go and they have a short attention span, but they will take the time and they will watch it.
The time has come. The wait is over and the big moment is finally here. Dunkin', America's #1 franchise and most loved coffee brand, is finally offering franchise opportunities right here where it all started in New England. Previously reserved areas in Boston, Providence, and Hartford are prime opportunities for a well-known name like Dunkin', and this could be the ideal investment opportunity for a well-qualified operator like you. In case you haven't kept up with Dunkin' lately, we've been running full steam ahead with both franchise expansion and a whole new generation of customer loyalty. In fact, our amazing franchisees have helped us earn so many #1 rankings, we're running out of space. What else has changed? We have leveraged technology, drastically enhancing the design of our restaurants to provide our guests with the products they love at Dunkin' speed to keep them running. Finally, what hasn't changed? Our 100% commitment to franchisee success, including a multi-million-dollar advertising fund, ongoing operations training, and our unmatched 70-year legacy.
So what does Dunkin' do? They share that everywhere. The first place, just like many other franchises, is on your website. Your website is your home base. The average user will spend 88% more time on a website than with video than without, because we're reading less. But then what else do? You use it on our customer journey. Facebook says you put a message in text, the same message in video, the video will get 135% more engagement. LinkedIn, 30 times more. And then you see a lot of franchisors also use it as part of drip campaigns and email marketing. Why? Because think about the emails that you get every day. You'll stop, you'll look, and you'll delete. And what happens is with a video, the call to action is simple: play. So some of the benefits beyond being found are the search engine optimization, which means you're ranking higher and you're also sharing that same content on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, and wherever we're interacting with your brand. Joe and Dave will get more into that, but the key is also to remember content marketing, putting out the same message repeatedly over and over and over, because it takes a few actions to get your audience to act. And when they do, it allows you to stay relevant and get found. So those are your goals, because today, 89 million Americans will watch 1.2 billion online videos. Video is dominating the web, and according to Cisco, which tracks all of these things, by 2022, 82% of all internet traffic will be video. So it almost comes down to that book, Who Moved My Cheese? 4 mice making their way through a maze. Hem and haw, characteristics of us: do nothing, sniff and scurry, adapt. It becomes adapt or perish, because we're being bombarded with technology and everything happens here. Now I'll let Dave and Joe take it from there. Guys? John, back to you.
All right. Up next, David Wells, U.S. Lawns. David, welcome. David's also been with Sport Clips Haircuts in the UPS store. So David, what do you got for us today?
Good. I just want to confirm you're able to see my screen?
Yes.
Great. As John mentioned, 18 years in franchise development, currently with U.S. Lawns. Also spent quite a bit of time with Sport Clips Haircuts in the UPS store. And I think Corey did a great job of framing up the why of using video and the statistics that tell us that this is where the industry is headed, not the industry, but the globe. So I want to talk a little bit about how US Lawns has gone about incorporating a video strategy into our overall franchise recruitment strategy. And I don't want to spend a whole lot of time talking about the importance of storytelling because I think that's something we're all pretty familiar with by now. I do think it's important to note that we need to be telling our story in all the different mediums that our candidates want to digest that information. So text has always been the primary goal, and a lot of good blog content has been developed to help tell brand stories. Audio is a growing area. Podcasts in particular, we've had success with, and getting some of our executives interviewed on different franchise podcasts. And our candidates have told us that those have been great for them to listen to during passive commute times. But obviously the point of the presentation today is to discuss video. And we've always had a certain amount of a video strategy, and I think most franchisors have, where we will get a camera set up at our national conference, and we'll use that as an opportunity to get some testimonial videos of our franchisees on the floor. What I really want to talk about today is a decision that we made a couple of years ago to take this to the next level and really invest in high quality production video that we're getting out in the field with our franchisees. Some of the obstacles, I mean, Corey's already talked about all the positive reasons to do it, but as franchise development people, we look at this and we think, well, this is obviously not cheap. Really high quality production is probably going to cost several thousands of dollars by the time you're done with it. And we look at where we can get an ROI with our funds, and video's not there. It's not readily apparent. I know I can stick some money into SEO or PPC or into a lead portal and get a direct return for those dollars. Video is a little bit more intangible. So in order to justify that ROI, there's a few things we have to do. And first is make multiple uses of the video they're capturing. So if I'm going to go spend several $1,000s on a video shoot in the field, I need to find multiple ways that I can use that video to tell my story, to enhance my process, enhance my website, and enhance my advertising methods. The other is long-term focus. And again, Corey did a great job of showing this is where the future is headed. If 82% of video of website traffic is going to be focused on video in the next 2 years, if we're not all investing in video now, we're in a real danger of falling behind the curve. And then last, and this is something that's become more readily apparent in the last 6 months, is at a time where face-to-face communication is difficult, if not impossible, we need to find quality ways to tell our brand story and interact with our candidates. I know, John, you did a presentation on virtual discovery days, and we've gone down that path. We've done a lot of virtual webinars, and we've decided that there are other ways to repurpose some of that content to add value in the process as well. So I'll get into that a little bit. So just to tell the story a little bit more, in 2019 is when we made the decision to really invest in these high quality production videos. And the way that we did that is we orchestrated on-site video shoots, visiting our franchisees in their service centers across the country. And we decided we're going to do this quarterly, and those are day in a life type videos. So we're going into their facility, we're meeting with them and their team. We're using the opportunity to also capture a video testimonial. To give you an idea of what the cost of that is we're looking at $4,500 per shoot, plus travel costs of getting myself out to the site and the executive producer. The executive producer then hires local videographers, both a ground videographer and a drone videographer. So all in all, with travel costs included, we're looking at about $6,000 for each one of these videos that we go out and shoot. The schedule that we set up is we meet the franchisee at the facility at sunrise. We are a service-based business, and our service tends to start early so we can get as much of the work done as possible before the heat of the afternoon catches up to us. So we start at sunrise. We capture our franchisee meeting with his team, dispatching the crews to the various job sites. We'll set up an interview in the franchisee's office where we're going to spend half an hour with them discussing their decision to join the US Lawns brand and what their experience has been. We're going to go visit job sites so we can see the crews in action, interview some customers at the same time, and wrap up mid-afternoon. So that's what the process itself looks like. The finished product that we get from that, and I mentioned earlier, it's important to find multiple uses for the video that you're investing in. So we end with a 3-minute day in the life video of our franchisee telling his story of joining the US Lawns brand and what his day looks like on a regular basis now. We were also able to capture a 2-minute video of myself welcoming candidates to our website. So that's front and center on the website, much to my chagrin, but a good chance for me to communicate directly with the franchisee so they know what to expect when we get through our process. We also got 2 1-minute customer testimonial videos, and we were able to use those both on our consumer sites, our franchisees' team pages, so that their potential customers can hear from their own customers, as well as on the customer sites themselves. So some of the customers have been able to use those videos for the promotion of their own businesses, adding extra value to their agreement to participate in the shoot with us. We also get 30-minute franchisee interview that we can then splice into 15, 30, 1, 2-minute segments. We use that on social media, on our YouTube channels to help promote the brand. And then we get hours of ground and drone footage that we're able to use in the ads, as well as on our team web pages, creating conference videos, etc. So again, finding multiple ways to use that investment across the board has really helped us realize the value in spending the funds on those videos. I think the results speak for themselves. We launched a video optimized website in January of this year. And I can't say that all of this is directly as a result of the video. It's all of the things combined, the SEO work, et cetera, et cetera. But we've seen more than a 50% increase in site traffic. We've seen candidates spending more time on the site because there's more opportunities for them to engage with the brand. And overall, we've seen a 77% increase in conversion rate on people who do visit that website. So we know that the strategy is working. And while it's difficult to tie a direct ROI back to the cost of the videos, a 77% increase in conversion rate speaks for itself. The last thing I wanted to get into is really showing how we're using some of these videos on different areas and some of those results. So 80,000 views of people who have visited our YouTube page or our website have seen the Welcome to the US Lawns introduction video that you see there. You can see some of the different videos that we've got running on our Facebook ads that really give a glimpse of what the US Lawns brand looks like in the market. And those also include the franchisee testimonials as well. Lastly, as I mentioned earlier, we've replaced our Discovery Day process with a series of virtual webinars that are hosted by our leadership team. And we realized that if we record those videos and create a video library, we're able to use those throughout the discovery process to address specific issues that are coming up in the candidate's journey. So for example, here, this is our Vice President, Brandon Moxon, talking about our sales and marketing support programs. We identified as an area that is important to our candidates. So we're able to share that 30-minute video with them throughout the process and get them ready for a virtual interview with Brandon as they get later into the process. We also have used video recently with our suppliers, and that's Katie Knapp, our account representative with IDS, who's doing a 1-minute marketing video for our franchisees on a weekly basis to help keep them engaged. So again, finding a lot of different ways to use video to enhance the candidate experience, enhance the franchisee experience, and that's been our focus and will be our continued focus going forward. So from there, I'm going to turn it over to Joe.
Joe, welcome. Joseph Mohay's been around a long time, marketing veteran, particularly in the digital arena. And Joe's been very helpful at our boot camps and working with Titus Center and working with franchise clients across the country as well. So Joe, tell us what you've got today.
Great. Hi, everyone. Thanks for having us participate here this afternoon or this morning. Yeah, we are very big advocates of video content and how that all comes together within your digital presence, whether it's through search engines or social media. You really need to own as much real estate as possible as your buyers and where they live online are going to continue to consume that content. So what we wanted to do is, just make sense of all this great video content and how we could translate it into leads and franchise prospects and ideally franchise candidates. When you deploy the things that obviously Corey and David had shared, it does prove an ROI, and I want to kind of give you a little bit of an example of that. So since David was kind enough to share some of his great video content and how it ties into the website, I figured I'd give you a little result of what Google looks like when you do some searches for what David sells. He offers a lawn care franchise, and as you saw on his slide prior, they're getting a lot of engagement, a lot of increased organic traffic, and that translates into more trust with search engines like Google and YouTube. So #1 organic result for a keyword like lawn care franchise costs. It's got a great featured snippet, and because of the video content about the ideal candidate and some of the topics that he speaks to, that adds some more relevancy to that search term, and it ranks really high. You go into the video section of Google, it's one of the first top 10 organic ranked videos that populate. So, again, David knows that at the end of the day, he's getting more and more leads than he did prior to having videos on there. And based on analytics and some of the tracking we do, we see approximately 20% of all leads that he gets from organic search. And video has a lot to do with juicing up that website to become more relevant. Some of our friends down in South Florida, like VentureX, what they do is they use video throughout their website along with really great content, whether it's done through the blog, downloadable content, landing pages. Again, the blog is optimized for the right keywords, and there will be a video placed typically within the blog post or the page itself to give the search crawlers even more reason to index that page, and it ranks really high on a search. A featured snippet, you own 20% of the Google page when you have really good optimized page content and blogs and downloadables, landing pages that all ties it in together.
Hey, Joe.
HubSpot is, yes.
Joe,
Yes.
we've got a question already about what do you mean by organic search, which gives you an idea of we love these conferences to be very, very basic. This is a franchisor asking that question. What is organic search?
So organic search is basically when someone does a search on Google, the search query, the listings that populate below the ads. So this is an earned placement of your website, or in this case, a video or a landing page that populates on Google, and you actually don't pay for those clicks and don't pay for those leads. It's a very valuable piece of real estate, and it has a tremendous impact on your cost per acquisition or cost per sale in our language. So that's what an organic search refers to.
But you have to earn that organic search.
Absolutely.
How do you get it? How does a franchisor achieve organic search? You can't go buy it.
No, you cannot buy it. And so a lot of the things that we talked about, really video is one element of generating organic traffic when it's within your website. So as an example of what I'm showing here, VentureXFranchise.com has a very robust franchise sales website. Lots of blogs, lots of content, downloadables, very informative pages that answers the buyer's most important questions, and it has a lot of trust with Google within their industry. So when you have a site that has a lot of good content that people value, the consumers value, and then you have video, it makes it much more organic friendly, and that's how you end up ranking higher for organic search.
Okay. So carry on with where you were. I wanted to get that organic in, but I don't want to interrupt
that question. No, thank you. And honestly, the video is an element of it, and HubSpot, is a very big third-party resource that validates a lot of the value of video and content. Have even stated that as of last year, video is one of the #1 forms of media used in content strategy and content marketing, even overtaking some aspects of blogs and infographics. So those other elements of content, video is outperforming, I guess you'd say. But in our business, as a franchise development marketing company, we find that with the right blog content and the video coupled together, you will have much more opportunities to show up organically, right? So here's an example of VentureX. Obviously, this is your paid ad. So back to your question, These are pay for clicks. Then you have organic search, which is free. Organic search, which is free. So they show up 3 times on the first page of Google for their main keyword. Then when you click on videos, they have 1, 2, 3 videos all living within their site on their respective web page within the site that also rank on Google. So that tells you that Google is going to give you a lot of weight, whether it's text or video. You want to make sure you have it all living within your site. That's the foundation of everything you do, and what your website is really the ultimate sales tool, because this traffic will become leads and traffic to your website. And as of just this past month, pulled the reports for our friends at VentureX, and 30% of all the leads they generated were free leads from organic search. So when you're thinking about an ROI and how you're allocating your dollars to generating leads in this business climate, nothing better than having an organic strategy like this to drive more leads at the lowest cost per lead that you can get. One other example I thought I'd show is other friends of ours down in South Florida, Accurate Franchising. We just relaunched their website. They have a really great, web presence with some great videos blended in on some of the most important pages of their site, which is, for example, a keyword like franchise my business. People are looking to start their franchising journey as a business. And so ranked #1 organically for that term. Again, organic search. A lot of that, again, has to do with all of the great content within their site, their blogs, the way they answer the questions of those buyers. And of course, the video also ranks for that same keyword under the Google Videos tab here. Over 9 million results show they're the #1 organically ranked video. So that just shows you the real estate opportunity, and it's all earned. You don't pay for it. At the end of the day, get as many clicks as you can get, and you're there for a good while. No, not really. It's very hard for you to fall off of Google if you have so much of this organic and credibility with search engines. Currently, they generate about 32% of all their leads through these organic search traffic strategies, and again, reducing their cost per acquisition. So what I'll do now is steer a little bit to the paid ads, because there's a tremendous value also to promote your video content, promote engaging content that is more illustrative instead of just static images and posting on your social media. You're better served getting a high impact motion graphic or a short snippet of video like David was showing earlier in the presentation, working within social media channels with some of our strategic partners. Even during these current business climates, we've seen up to 2.1% higher click-through rates for motion graphic type video ads versus static images. And that also correlates to more leads. About 1.8 more leads, because the video is highly engaging and it presents you in a much more professional manner. Not to mention also the rise of handheld devices. As we all know, we're all using our devices pretty regularly throughout the day, whether it's work or personal. Social media ads perform quite well. About 92% of all franchise ads consumed on social, Instagram, Facebook, and of the like, generate about 92% of the traffic. So social is very heavily dependent on mobile devices. So that's a big aspect of what we're seeing within our ad campaigns. Your audience, they want to see more video content. Corey mentioned in 2022, 82% of all internet traffic will come back from video content. So nothing better than to start to produce and come up with some video elements to your website, and of course any marketing ideas that you have to incorporate video content, because you are going to get more engagement and your brand is going to come off much more professional where these buyers live in the social realm. Some other stats, so other clients that we've worked with that have video ads running. Again, when video ads run like this, they typically click into a website landing page that connects the dots, right? So the message and the illustration here will obviously align well with when they click to learn more. There's a web page that is completing that story to generate those leads. So a video ad versus a static ad for Clean Juice, as an example, generated about twice the number of leads, and obviously the same number of impressions, because it was a test, an A/B test of the two types of ad styles. So that just shows you the value of that. Video within Instagram, you know, these video ad stories, these ad stories here versus a static image ad generated well over 135 leads and obviously generated a lot of new traffic to their website. And then we have some other ads here that are more focused on like a YouTube type of setup here. They have very interactive, you know, video, you know, music, kind of engaging, illustrating some of the great benefits of that particular brand. And you can just see, you know, illustration, calls to action to get people into the website to generate more interest in their opportunity. So a few thoughts of key takeaways here as we've kind of wrap up and give you some opportunities to ask questions. Some of the takeaways that we wanted to share with you, obviously with video content, it is going to be a major driver in our internet usage as it already is now, and just can continue to grow. Video is a great way to tell your brand story, answer your buyer's most important questions, and also show a day in the life of what a franchisee is. What it looks like for someone looking at the opportunity. And of course, with organic, which is the free aspects of generating traffic to your website, or paid lead generation, which is their Google ads, YouTube, social media ads, all should lead back to your website. That's your sales tool. That's the ultimate online resource for folks looking at your franchise opportunity. And that's where we see most of the ROI and the traffic that turns into great prospects. There's obviously all types of video options. You have an affordable storytelling option like our friend Corey at Video Bolt, or you can go in a more custom high-end produced video, which you can obviously repurpose a lot of that video footage to use in all sorts of online media channels. But at the end of the day, video, and what we find with all of our clients and website building opportunities we've done, it's a fantastic way to tell you know, stories and visually compel people both before, during, and after the sales process. So I will turn it over back to you there, John.
Okay, great. Thank you, Joseph. Thank all of you, David, Joseph, Corey. We got a lot of questions, and particularly from franchisors, but some suppliers on here as well. We have more than 100 people who have joined us, which we appreciate. We're going to try to get as many of these questions as we can. So it's for franchisors, and I was a franchisor for many years. I understand it's cost. Yeah, I need leads, and I need good quality leads. So Joseph, I saw on one of those slides, somebody was getting 880 leads. I mean, that's really juicy and tempting and exciting. But what is a lead from video, and what does a lead cost? I want to get that in. But my point here in general is that these folks want to know what it's going to cost them to produce these videos and how they're going to get a return on investment. And David, I want to go to you for that, because you're a franchisor. You have some of this very information in what you presented. You talked about, I think it was about $6,000 per video, but how do you get your value out of that? How are you getting your $6,000 back? And how many leads do you know you're getting? And is a lead somebody who wants to buy a franchise, or is a lead somebody who's thinking about maybe someday when they graduate from college, they're going to buy a franchise? So tell us more about that, David.
Sure. You know, $6,000 was a ballpark figure that we experienced with a videographer. I mean, I've seen ranges much higher and much lower than that. But we felt that, much like when you develop a website, it's important to invest in that content, knowing that it's going to be difficult to discern the exact ROI you're getting from that video content. So again, our goal was to repurpose and spread this video as much as possible in order to drive customers or potential candidates back to our website. And Joe did a good job of framing that up at the end of his presentation. Is that it's all about driving the people to the website. And we know that if we get them to the website, and if they engage with the site and they engage with the video content that we have there, we have a good shot of the right people filling out the form and becoming a lead. So when you ask what exactly is a lead, what do we count as a lead? It's somebody who has landed on our website from one of our video ads, They have completed the request form in order to get more information, and we are then following up with to try to get the first phone-to-phone conversation going on. So for the video content itself, we've now done 4 of these video shoots at about $6,000 a piece. So we've invested $24,000 into video content. Our website traffic has increased about 60% overall, organic traffic up close to 70%, and our conversion rate is up 77%. So I don't have a direct number of leads that were generated from the video program, John, but I can tell you that we're being much more successful at driving traffic to the website, and we're being much more successful at capturing the interest of the people once they get to the website. So overall, we look at that as a very successful program, so much so that as soon as things get back to normal and COVID allows us to start traveling again, we plan on getting back on the quarterly schedule and meeting with our franchisees to produce more video content.
So you had mentioned, David, that it's difficult to track this. Through the years, franchisors have said that they need 100 leads to sell a franchise. This has been a kind of a ballpark number. Do you see that better or worse with video, or can you tell us about that?
It's a good question. And I say if you use video just for advertising, you're probably going to get the same results. But if you find ways to implement the video throughout your process. So I saw somebody ask a question, would it make sense to use video content in email drip campaigns or in order to encourage a candidate to schedule that first interview? Absolutely. That's why we're doing the video webinars. That's why we're making a video library that we can refer candidates to answer specific questions. So I think if you focus on the lead generation side as well as the nurturing and conversion side, absolutely you can find better results than the traditional 1%, but it takes an all-encompassing strategy.
Okay. You also mentioned that you made the decision to put money into a video optimized website. What does that mean? How much did that cost, and why, and how, and where do you do that? Give us a little bit of information about that.
Sure. And Joe, do you want to answer that question? Because Joe actually worked on that website, and he can help with that.
Yeah, so we actually, IDS was fortunate enough to build that website for David. Earlier this year we launched that, and then we timed it so that not only did the site have a refresh with regard to some elements of just core page content, but having those videos uploaded and optimized, basically embedded in the website pages, was what really gave him the spike that he saw over those first several months of the year. Because like we said, and that's just kind of the big takeaway, when you have content in text for search engines, and you have video, which is also crawled by search engines like Google because they own YouTube, you're giving the perfect balance of what search engines and users want to understand about your franchise opportunity. So a cost for a website, if that's what you need to know, I mean, websites range from, it depends, I guess, on how many pages you would go out with, but, typically between $7,500 to $25,000, depending on how big of a website you need to do. But the embedding of videos, that's just part of the process. It's videos that are already been produced, and we're just basically slicing them into certain parts of the website to make sure those pages are optimized better. Like that example I showed you.
Joseph,
yes, go ahead.
What's the ballpark cost for redesigning a website to optimize it for a franchisor who wants to generate leads? Just, ballpark, what's that going to cost the franchisor?
Yeah. I'd say on the low end, 7,500 to maybe 10, okay. 10 on average. 10,
right. And then I want to jump over to Corey for a moment, because Corey, VideoBolt, I don't think you do that kind of work. You're not, you don't help franchisors optimize their websites necessarily. It's different what IDS does that. Well, how is VideoBolt different from traditional solutions in video production?
Thank you, John. We're more of a technology company, so we're a content play. What we developed, we realized franchisors have assets like Joe provides. They have B-rolls, they have video, they have images. What we do is we then get on the phone with you and talk about repurposing that, and then we have dedicated producers that work with you to tell a story about the piece that you want to turn around. And we use a professional spokesperson. And the reason we do that is it comes across as a testimonial for the person that you're trying to solicit to come work with you or to highlight your awards or whatever it may be. And our turnaround time is 48 hours and our price point about $5.99 per video. But we do that for numerous franchises because they want to be nimble. So for example, one of the things they'll do is personalize something and put that out there and use that technology. So you could say, Jim, thank you so much for inquiring. Here's what you should know. Or as a takeaway from that meeting that you attended, here's what you should know. So they essentially get on the phone with one of our producers. They talk to them about the importance of story, ask them what assets they have. They write up a script that's 60 seconds or less for engagement and send it back to them. And then 48 hours later, they have a video.
Okay.
But in regards to the embedding, by the way, always embed the video, as Joe said. But it's important also to use the text because, as Joe pointed out, Google loves video, but it also reads words. So that'll help rank you higher when you're embedding it on that website.
Okay. And when you say, Google loves video, does Google only love professionally edited videos? Could they be, I take my my iPhone out and I shoot some video and it's raw and it's not IDS or video boat quality, but it's entertaining.
I'll spin that back to you. How would you feel if I was trying to sell you something wearing a members only jacket? You'd probably think I was the last member, right? So the idea is essentially quality matters. I'm a big believer in quality. I do like selfie videos. I like a lot of that, but I think if you have the following and you could pull that off, great. I do think that's great. Selfie videos for generations as well. Millennials like that, and I also think if you have the following, but I think if you have the opportunity to do something quality, I think all video is great. What Joe does, what we do, what the selfie video is, it's just you never know who's going to react to what. So the idea is to create a little bit of everything.
Okay. So I think what franchisors are concerned about is, do I need 10 videos at $600 each or $6,000 each in order to optimize my site and get this organic search working in my favor? So I'm Venture X's competitor. I want to knock them off the organic search. I want to be number one. Is that going to cost me $60,000 or $500,000? And then is it worth it? I mean, David said he got 77.5% conversion increase, but we don't really know what that means. That sounds good, but how many videos do I need? How much is it going to cost me to do that? How long is it going to take me to do this? And is there a better way? Should I just hang out on YouTube or Instagram?
Let me chime in on that if I could. I've done obviously David's videos who we showcased, but we've worked with well over 50 brands in 9 years, and many of them are doing video as of late. It doesn't take a lot of video content to benefit from the organic search opportunity. The biggest thing is making sure it's on YouTube. So to answer your question, John, if you're going to do a video, make sure you have it on a YouTube source, because Google owns YouTube.
And on that point, I need you to talk about that because we have that question. How does a franchisor get their own YouTube page? How difficult? What's involved? What does that cost? So you need to fill that in too, Joseph, as you go through this.
Sure. Absolutely. And maybe Corey, I'll tap you a little bit as well on that. But inevitably, if you have a good website, again, we're selling franchises here. Everyone on this call is a franchise professional. You want to have a legitimate representation of your brand. So in my opinion, if you're looking to sell a franchise and the franchise fees and the investment are hundreds of thousands of dollars, over a period of time, make sure you treat your website as that, a very professional presence. And the video is very much the same thing. I mean, it has to be building credibility of your brand. So I feel like, the selfie videos, maybe that's fun for maybe a location level franchisee type thing. But if you're selling franchises and you want to have a great first impression, there's nothing better than having a 2 or 3 minute video, a little bit of the brand, a little bit of the executive story. And then with Dave's situation of franchisees telling their day in the life, those resonate ideally or better than anything, because it's basically a prospective franchisee sees themselves in that position. So I would just say that an investment of maybe a couple videos as you launch the site on a homepage, a few maybe testimonial type videos, as long as they're built within YouTube and optimized for the right search, not to get all techie on you guys, but the right keywords, that's really all you need. You could do short snippets of videos and repurpose them on some blog posts that are written to target other keywords. So those are things that a professional, us or any others that are working in the agency space, know how to make use of those video assets to drive traffic, which inevitably drive leads. With regard to YouTube channel, and Corey, you've done this a lot as well. I mean, it's a matter of just securing a YouTube channel for your brand and making it almost like a mini website of just video content that you're uploading, having a nice header image, very professional, and making sure that you're putting some context within the video. So it's just not a video, but you're describing the video in a description so that search engines understand that. And Corey, if you want to enlighten anyone else on that.
And it's free. Most important, creating a YouTube channel is free. If you have a Gmail account, you simply just Google, how do I create a YouTube channel? And they ask you if you have a Gmail account because Google owns YouTube. I'd also say it's important for every step of the process to load as many videos as you can on YouTube to continue to tell your story there, because generationally, we're doing things differently. I'm 50 years old. I'm a digital immigrant. I didn't grow up with YouTube, but the generation that's 35 and younger are digitally native. They'll go to YouTube first in many cases of search. So by having those videos on the nice optimized site Joe was talking about, as well as on a YouTube channel, you're creating two different highways that might lead to you. So I'd encourage you to create that free YouTube channel and populate it.
So how do people get help with that? If they want to set up YouTube and they don't know how to optimize it, they don't know how to get videos on there. Does IDS or Video Built help with that?
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's exactly what we would do. Is we would obviously have a one-on-one consultation with the brand, and many of you hopefully that you would like to take advantage of that. We're happy to set up some time to do that, and just look at your current situation. We could do some preliminary research. So the Johns of the world that wants to knock off Venture X, and you have to answer to Ray for that one. We will make sure we look at your competitive landscape and see where we have the best opportunities to put you in the best position, both for your website traffic to get more leads, but also within the video channels. As we said, there's a lot of eyeballs out there looking and asking Google these types of questions, and nothing better than having a video, give them those answers.
So there are a lot of eyeballs out there, and they come in various ages. So we've got baby boomers who still buy franchises, and we got Gen X and millennials in between. Every franchise brand is different. Everyone may know that, well, I still get more baby boomer buyers, and that's my market, and that's who I want, than I do millennials, but millennials are coming on strong. Is there any proof here that videos are going to produce a better millennial lead versus a baby boomer lead? Or do baby boomers still like black and white print, a brochure, or an email? How does video help enhance the process of generating leads? David, what's your experience?
I think it's a very valid point. Until the last year or so, I felt the same way. I felt the boomer audience was still more geared towards text. I've since seen stats and information that makes me feel otherwise. I think even boomers are getting more and more into the video content. I think a lot of that is driven by the mobile driven nature of the internet these days. I know on our new website, more than 2/3 of our traffic is now coming from a mobile device. And it's just much easier to watch a video on a mobile device than it is to read pages and pages of text. So I don't think that argument is relevant as it used to be as technology continues to advance.
Okay. And then what about, Joe or Corey, what about the question is, do we include a link to a personal video message within a follow-up email to leads to turn them into a candidate? Is that a good strategy, or somebody doing that?
Yeah, I would say I'll chime in on this for a little bit there, Corey, because we've seen this really work We have a CRM. We use HubSpot. It's a CRM that we find to have a lot of great marketing automation attributes, and we've seen high engagement when a email goes out and it's just a short personal video message, something like what we're doing here, just personalizing it to that particular candidate and going out into an email. You know, that to me has a tremendous, first of all, it has a tremendous open rate because they're looking like, oh, this is some video. I usually don't get this kind of thing. It's fairly cheap if once you've captured the video itself to put that link or call out within the email. So I find that to be extremely effective for our drip campaigns for our clients.
We've been using that as well, John, and it's quite impressive because if you think about it, there's a level of excitement when you check into a hotel room and your name is on the TV screen. It's that same thing for the end user when they open it up and see their name and a message directed at them. In regards to your baby boomer question, it's interesting. I'm a kind of a stat nerd, and I was looking at that. I had shared with the guys on ComScore, they were saying that baby boomers happen to be the fastest growing segment on YouTube, but unlike the other generations, the millennials and the Gen Xers, they're more patient. So for example, the millennials want something shorter in many cases, and then they talked about Gen Xers, my generation, we're often in that sandwich generation of older parents and younger kids, so we're battling for time. But when they were talking about baby boomers, they said often they'll watch for 2 minutes or longer because they remember a time when finding information was a lot more challenging. They also touched on 75-year-old plus, and they said that 1 out of 2 people in that demographic identifies as a video regular. So it's fascinating to see that shift.
Okay, some other questions, and we're running low on time here. Is there a threshold for how many videos we should have on a single page of our website? Does it matter what page the videos are on? And is it best to embed the videos or link to them? Joseph?
Well, I would say there are definitely some, if we're talking franchise development websites, I would say there's definitely certain areas of the site you should do your very best to have a video because, you know, basically your candidates are spending more time on certain areas of the website. So your homepage, definitely have a really powerful, you know, all-encompassing video. I find that to be extremely valuable. The investment, training and support, territories, or I'm sorry, not territories, training and support, testimonials, or, you know, what we call franchisee, you know, testimonials are probably the best places to have video content to, you know, be able to articulate the value of the brand, you know, so in an investment page, you're talking about, you know, obviously things that you can disclose in the presentation of that message, but, you know, really putting people in a frame of mind that this investment in this franchise, having video and seeing that authenticity, and maybe some franchisees that have had, you know, were thinking about the investment, made the investment, and have had a tremendous amount of success both in life and in business because of that decision. That's a good place to have it. As we know, a lot of the activity are on those specific pages. And embedding is definitely what you want to do.
Then quickly, how would a franchisor know which of you guys to work with? And there are you two guys, and there are 40 more guys like you who are credible, who sell a good product, who know what they're talking about, who can help a franchisor produce video. How do you select the right one? You know, is Corey going to be best for my brand, or is Joseph going to be best for my brand? And pricing is a whole nother issue. So what do you say? David, what do you say about that? How do you line up?
On that.
I mean, first, let's understand Corey and Joe offer very different products when it comes to video. But I think just like finding any service, I mean, if you're looking to develop a website, obviously Joe and IDS are a great option, but there are other options out there. You've got to be able to do a cost-benefit analysis, figure out who's going to provide the best service and who's going to fulfill your needs. Now, you know, Corey and the services he offers, I already have hours and hours of B-roll from the professional shots we've done. It might make sense for me to go to Corey and say, how can we repurpose some of this and some of these, you know, spokesman type videos that he's producing? But Corey, correct me if I'm wrong, you're not going out and shooting the actual video, you know, with me in the field.
100%. That's what Joe does. That's why we work hand in hand.
So I think it's important to know what you're looking for, specifically, and then have open conversations with those vendors to determine who's best going to fit your needs. And you may have to piece a few together. You may have to work with someone like Joe in order to produce the content, and someone like Corey in order to edit it and get it to the final format that you need.
Good point. And in Corey's case, you can go produce a video this afternoon online. Is that right, Corey? At VideoBolt.com?
Yeah, with VideoBolt.com, we built an online point-and-click system where you could literally log on and choose your spokesperson, dress your spokesperson, add your background, add your script, add your images. It's a technology play, and it takes you about 15 minutes to point-and-click your way to a video that's delivered 48 hours later.
Okay,
Or,
great.
most of the time, though, we prefer to do the work with you and actually get on the phone with you and say, what do you want to say? Who do you want to say it to? Because our team are former news people, and they know how to write. They know how to storytell. They'll write the script, send it back to you. You approve it. And then 48 hours later, you have the video.
Great. So that's at VideoBolt.com. Joseph, how are they going to contact you?
Yeah, so integrated digital strategies, IDS is our kind of where everyone knows us as, and just to take a second and tell you a little bit of how we go about our approach. It's website building for franchise development is a core competency. We bolted on video because we know how much it impacts our franchise or clients in generating a more interested candidate, and then getting eyeballs to those videos where their buyers live online. We have a team of content writers that find the way to balance the content from text and video together to generate the best traffic and leads. And we've been doing it for 9 years in the franchise space, and been very fortunate to be working with the Titus folks in this particular presentation. So thank you.
David, if they want to track you down with a question, where can they reach you?
They can contact me directly via email. That's david.wells@uslawns.com, or reach out to me on LinkedIn, and be happy to connect with anyone there.
Yeah, LinkedIn's the perfect place to reach everybody on this call, I would say. And I want to thank everybody on this call today, on this conference. It's a great honor for the Titus Center to host you. We've got some new ideas in the works coming up. We'll be announcing them to you as well. Please go take a look at TitusFranchiseHotSeat.com and join us one way or another there. We're looking forward to producing 3 episodes, 9 different pitches from people who need help building their franchise brand. Our dream team is ready to go, ready to give advice. We've also got people who are willing investors among our dream team. So we're looking forward to producing some great video shows for the Zoom platform, and getting these programs out through all media that we can to reach people who are interested in building the next great franchise opportunity. Thanks again. Check the Titus Center for Franchising.com and contact us anytime. We're here to be of service to you. We are educating the future generation of franchisors and franchisees. Thanks again.